The UConn Huskies, Jim Morris, second season, and he pulled a rabbit out of his hat last year. That's for sure. Went 6-6 last year. I'm curious about 6-7, lost the bowl game. Let's go on and bring it up on your screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Their post-game win expectancy last year, 6.29 and 5.71. It wasn't fluky. They played well in those games that they had to win. They do lose some guys, but they're number 10 in the country in returning production. Over 76% adjusted returning production. Offense is number 19. Defense is number 15. Their projected record is not great. I will say that. 4.73 and 7.27 based on the schedule that they've got. I mean, these road games are pretty difficult, but they've got a lot at home. That's the crazy part about this. You've got at Georgia State. You got at Rice. You've got at Boston College, at Tennessee, at James Madison. And the rest are at home. You got NC State coming in. You got Utah State coming in. You got South Florida coming in. So you got Duke coming in as well. I don't feel great about the chances there, obviously, but regardless. Let's start out on offense. Last year, number 97 PPA per drive, so they weren't the most efficient, but they did find some explosive plays here and there. It was what it was, right? Rushing success, number 68. They could not pass the ball. Part of that had to do with the fact that their quarterback got hurt. So that's not good. But either way, the passing game was a disaster. They lost Roberson early. They did bring in 3 transfer wide receivers, so maybe that'll help. Nick Charleston, by the way, the offensive coordinator, he was formerly the OC and then the head coach at Maine, and he left the head coaching position in FCS to come be the offensive coordinator for Jim Morris. So something to pay attention to there. They've got 4 starting offensive linemen back. They're likely going to lean on the running game again with their running backs, Rosa and Houston, back. That's what you need to know. Do we see any improvement in the quarterback game, or do they lean on the running game again? And with this schedule, you could make a bowl even just leaning on your running game again. It's entirely possible. Moving over to defense, Jim Mora Jr. is going to stay on as the defensive coordinator. He's got no plans to replace Spanos, who is now a defensive analyst at Ole Miss, and he's going to serve as DC again. The defense last year, number 77 in PPA per drive, the defense was actually better than the offense as far as efficiency goes. They were number 6 in limiting explosive plays last year. That is a massive number, just massive number. But overall, like number 113 in rushing success allowed, number 111 in passing success allowed. Turnover margin was pretty good. They did create some turnovers, and they didn't turn the ball over a lot. They didn't beat themselves. Penalties, not great. Number 101 in the country there. But the defense last year did improve, right? They averaged 7 yards per play allowed in 2019. That was number 128 in the country. They didn't even play in 2020. They averaged 5.92 yards per play in 2021. They bring in Mora, and it's 5.51, all the way up to number 61. That's not bad. The secondary does have experience. They could be better with improved pass rush. They're returning 84% of their quarterback pressures. And the fact that they held 5 opponents to 14 points or less is mind-blowing. Just crazy. They were number 10 in luck rank last year. So when it comes to turnovers, when it comes to injuries, when it comes to other teams missing field goals at opportune moments, that kind of stuff, going for 4th down, not getting whatever, it really helped them out last year. So again, I don't think the record was fluky, but there may have been some luck involved, as there is with every team when it comes to winning ball games, right? They're projected favorites in 4 games. I've got 6 toss-ups. Toss-ups, again, are games where the projected point spread is within 1 score. Keys to the season. The record wasn't fluky, but the schedule is tough this season. They're going to need to get a lot of wins at home. I just brought that up with the schedule. They're going to need to get those wins at home. They brought in transfer wide receivers to shore up the wide receiver core. They need more explosiveness and more consistency. Guys that can catch the ball, along with quarterbacks that can actually get it to them. We need accuracy here for that passing offense. They got to fix their penalties. Bottom line. Like, they were number 101. I brought that up, but gracious. You can't rely on the ball to bounce your way all the time. You got to improve that efficiency, both on offense and defense. Don't beat yourself. Just don't beat yourself. That's easy enough. Take me off the screen here for just a minute so that you can actually read this if you want to. I just talked about all that, but regardless, the record prediction. Looking at the schedule, the key portion of the schedule is weeks 5 through 9. I have them winning 3 of those games. There is a bye week in the middle there, but I have them winning 3 of those games. I have a record of 6-6, so I've got them going over the win total of 5, and to go over is plus 120. To go under is minus 150, so heavily juiced to the under. They expect it to go under, and I showed you that projected record, 4.73. But I've got faith in them, maybe being able to eke out a win against USF, win on the road against Rice, Utah State. I don't have a lot of faith in this year. I think they can get some of these wins. I trust Jim Mora quite a bit here. So the record prediction for me is 6-6. Their ceiling, you get that passing game going a little bit, maybe you can beat Boston College. Maybe you can win on the road at Georgia State, right? It puts you at 8-4 for a ceiling. The floor, however, is really, really low. If you deal with some injury issues, all of a sudden you can't hold on to the ball. Your defense can't create turnovers. The defense isn't as good at stopping the explosive plays they were last year. You could be looking at 3-9. That's the way that I would look at this. I think that they can make a bowl game again, but this is a tough schedule for UConn. I don't have a ton of faith, but I got some. And say what you want about Jim Mora. I think he's a pretty good ball coach. I like UConn a little bit this year, so I will take the over. Over plus 120 on 5 for their win total over at BetUS. Go check it out over there. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter at GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me, Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.